What's up guys, John Haas here with NRSNG, and today we're going to be talking about how to find the right nursing school. I'm going to give you 5 steps to choosing the right nursing school for you, for your family, and for your career goals. There's a ton of nursing schools out there. There's about 1,800 BSN and ADN programs out there, so there's a lot to choose from. The first thing you need to do though guys is decide what type of degree you want in the end. Do you want an ADN or a BSN? Now what's an ADN and a BSN? An ADN is an associate's degree of nursing. A BSN is a bachelor's of science in nursing. So some of the ADNs will be called ASN as well, Associates of Science in Nursing. So really it's just the difference in a 4-year degree and a 2-year degree, but when you come out, you're able to take the NCLEX on either of those paths that gives you your RN, which is your license. Why choose one or the other? A BSN is what the Joint Commission, the commission that kind of governs hospitals, they want 80% of nursing staff at all hospitals to have a BSN. So because of this, your magnet designated hospitals are really pushing to only hire BSNs. So that's a real advantage to getting a BSN. Now that doesn't mean you have to have a BSN. A lot of hospitals are still hiring ADNs that have their RN and then train them and helping them get their BSN later. An advantage to getting an ADN would be that it's much cheaper and it's much faster. In 18 months, 2 years, you can get your ADN, you can go and take your NCLEX, start working, and then go and get your bachelor's of science and nursing just online, and your hospital will oftentimes pay for it. The next is going to be wait lists. In states like California, some of these nursing schools have wait lists that are up to 2-4 years that you'll apply. They'll say, yeah, you're a great applicant, but you can't start for 2 years. So really look at these schools. Which ones have wait lists? Are you willing to wait that long? Do you have time? Do you have money? Do you have resources to wait that long? Or do you need to get started right away? So figure out what degree type you want, then figure out if you're willing to wait and how long you're willing to wait. So that goes into step number 3, is really evaluate the admissions criteria for different schools. Some might require the HESI admissions exam. Some might require the TEAS admissions exam. Study guides for these are about 20 bucks online. They're very broad, general knowledge type exams where you're doing like college algebra and some science. So make sure that you know if your school is going to require this. One school I applied to did, one didn't. Then it comes down to prerequisites. Every school, for the most part, is going to require anatomy and physiology, microbiology, and some chemistry. A lot of schools have a 7 or 10-year time limit on those courses. So if you went to college right out of high school and took your anatomy and physiology, then waited 15 years to go back, you're going to have to retake those courses again. And find out the criteria for those courses too. Some will allow online with online labs. Other schools won't allow that at all. A lot of schools like to see a little bit of experience, whether that's volunteer work or actually working in the field. The best way to get this is probably just calling up a hospital saying, hey, can I volunteer? Or looking for a patient care tech job or a CNA job where you're actually going to get paid for transporting patients, for bathing patients, for doing different things on the floor. Being a CNA is one of the toughest jobs in the hospital, if not the toughest job in the hospital, because you're moving patients all day, you're bathing patients all day. You're doing this very, very, very difficult work that, yes, it's some work that nurses do. The job of a nurse is so much different that I've seen a lot of people who go and be a CNA become tainted on ever working in a hospital again. So if you know that you want to be a nurse and doing those types of things, bathing all day, transporting all day, is going to give you a sour taste of nursing, then be careful about doing that. But it's helpful to get in there, see the patient, see how a hospital works. And yes, you're going to have those skills as a nurse anyway. Then look at GPA requirements of your school. Some are going to require a 3.0, some might say a 2.5, some might even say a 3.5. So know what the GPA requirements are before you even start taking prereqs and before you start applying. Then some schools are going to require an essay. If they require an essay, talk to a buddy, talk to a friend. Don't just have your mom read it. She's going to think it's great no matter what. Find somebody who can give you honest feedback to help you know if this essay really talks about you. The next tip I want to give you is how to evaluate one program from another. Because there's so many out there and they all look great and you're gonna say, it doesn't matter, I just wanna get into any program, so if I get in, I'm good. We just saw the other day, yesterday I think, someone on our private Facebook group for NRSNG members, we saw someone say they just found out that their nursing school is not accredited. Okay, what does accreditation mean? Well, there's 2 accrediting bodies. One is the NLNAC or the CCNE that give approval to nursing schools to grant nursing degrees, to give the ADN or to give the BSN. So this means a lot. This is saying that this school, this college over here, has been evaluated by one of these accrediting bodies to actually provide this degree. So that's so important. Make sure that your school is accredited. Reasons a school might not be accredited is that it takes a couple years to get accreditation when they start a university. So if it's a brand new school, a brand new college, they might not have accreditation yet. It's not a good idea to be the first class, to be the first guinea pig, because if they never get accreditation, that could hurt you later on. Another reason they might not get it is because their students have done so poorly in school that they lost their accreditation. That's obviously a huge red flag. So find a school, make sure it's accredited before you apply. The next thing to look at would be a school's NCLEX pass rate. NCLEX is the licensing exam that's required for everybody that wants to get put RN after their name. Every state board of nursing will publish the pass rates for every school in the state. Great schools are going to show high 90s. Bad schools are going to show 40s, 50%, meaning that 40% of people who graduate end up passing the test. Now that's not great odds, where other schools are going to show pass rates of 98, 99%, meaning only one person out of 100 is not passing this licensing exam. So you want to shoot for a school that has a very high pass rate. There's a caveat to that, and that's attrition rate. Attrition rate means how many people finish the program. So how many started 2 years ago or 4 years ago versus how many graduated. What some schools will do is they'll accept as many people as they can up front, fail them out the first year, fail a few more out the third year, fail a few more out here, so that they have a huge NCLEX pass rate. You want to get to a school, your best option is a school with a very low attrition rate, meaning very few fell out, and a very high NCLEX pass rate. That can sometimes be hard to find, but if you can find that as you're evaluating these schools, it'll give you a much better chance when you get into one of these schools that has a high pass rate, low attrition rate. It'll give you a huge chance of success. Then faculty. Faculty makes all the difference. You want to find nursing instructors that care. Nursing instructors that still are getting experience on the floor, that can talk in real life about what these types of patients are going to look like, what real life nursing is still about. And you want professors that have a passion. When we hire at NRS&G, the number one thing we look for is passion. Number two is, are they currently working on the floor? And do they care about the students? If professors care about the students, it's going to make all the difference in the world to when you're struggling, they can empathize and they can help you along in your journey. Last step is evaluate everything else. Things like tuition. We've talked to people on our little podcast tours when we go out and meet students. We've found students who are paying $120,000 for a nursing degree where they're going to make $50,000. We've met other students who are going to schools that only cost $4,000. So it makes a huge difference. If it's going to take you the rest of your career at $2,000 a month to ever pay off your degree, is it worth it? Or is it worth waiting another year or two? Then location. Obviously, if you can not move, stay close to your family, that's optimal. But for me, I ended up going to Illinois for a nursing school because it was nights and weekends, and we were about to have a baby, so my wife was able to work during the week, and I would take care of our son. And then on nights and weekends, I would go to school and she would take care of our son. So that worked for us. It was the only program we could find that did that. So for us, it made sense to move and do that. And then look at clinical locations. Are you going to be doing all your clinical rotations in nursing homes, or are you going to get some clinical rotations in Trauma One hospitals, big tertiary care hospitals? So look for those types of things. And then there's going to be all these other extra costs of living, like parking costs, commute, technology fees. So really dig into those costs and get a total cost of attending. Guys, it's not easy to find the right nursing school. My biggest thing I tell people is look at NCLEX pass rates and attrition rates. Those are so important to you. And then be willing to move, be willing to sacrifice a little bit to do this if it's what you really want to do, but be very careful about student debt. Be very, very, very careful about that. Guys, we want you to succeed. We want you to be successful. We need more nurses. We need more nurses who care. We want passionate people in this degree field. So if you have that passion, keep going for it. You will find a school that matches you, that works for you, and you will find something that gets you to where you want to be. All right, guys, that's all I got for you on this topic. Hope you guys have a great day. And as always, go out and be your best self today. Happy nursing.